Day 7. The whole alley felt like it had shrunk. The infected at the end of the corridor tilted its head like it was trying to hear something even we couldn't hear. Behind me, 4 armed humans were breathing too deep, trying to look too calm. At my side, the woman was gripping her gun so hard her fingers had turned white. No one moved. No one spoke. Only the warm wind crossed the alley, dragging the smell of trash, rust, and sweat. Mine, his, ours.
Then I realized it wasn't just sound it was after, it was smell. The infected drew in the air slowly, pulling it through the mouth, not the nose, like it was tasting the environment. Its cloudy eyes swept the alley, but didn't lock on to anything specific. It was the chest doing the work, rising and falling, measuring, slow, methodical. The group's leader, the man with the rifle, spoke without moving his lips. "If you run, it comes. If I stay," I whispered, "it chooses." Great news.
The infected took 2 steps. Slow, dragging, but precise. It reached a dark stain on the wall, dried blood probably. Pressed its face against it, inhaled, long, deep. I could almost see its rotten brain trying to assemble a jigsaw puzzle of smells. The woman beside me held her breath. The leader gave a slight smile. "See," he murmured, "it's not just noise anymore, it's memory." The words stuck in my head. Memory. Timber, deep, weary. The infected turned its head a little, like it felt a new current of air. A faint gust crossed the alley, bringing something different with it. An acidic, strong, way too familiar smell. Fear. Not fear in general. Mine. Sweat crawled down my neck, along my back, soaking my shirt. I could feel my own skin burning cold. That's when I understood. It's not just what you do. It's what your body confesses for you. The infected straightened, left the bloodstain on the wall, and took a step in our direction.
"Tim Weary." The woman shook. The man with the whistle moved his hand toward his pocket, but the leader raised 2 fingers, a light authoritative gesture. "No." "He's coming at us," I whispered. "He's coming at someone," he corrected. Observation number 15. Fear has a smell. And somewhere between the first scream and the 6th day, they learned that. The infected kept advancing. Short steps, no growl, no burst of rage, just that heavy, constant breathing like a broken metronome.
Timber, deep, weary. Intensity medium, rhythm fast, controlled. When it got near the stacked boxes, a wounded cat crawled out from underneath. Skin and bones, one eye limping. It froze when it saw the creature. Animal instinct still recognized predator even when the whole world forgot. The infected veered away from us, headed for the cat. For a few seconds, the alley was split between 2 fears, ours and the cat's. It chose the easier one. The cat tried to run, didn't make it 3 steps. The infected grabbed it, lifted it, bit into it. No rush, like it was sampling the dish of the day. The woman turned her face away. I wanted to. I didn't. Watching that told us something important. They choose. They don't attack everything that moves. They follow a line, an invisible thread of smell, noise, opportunity. When it finished, it dropped what was left of the cat, ran its tongue over its torn lips like cleaning the taste, then went back to drawing in the air. And this time, it turned again in our direction. "You keep thinking it's only about screaming, only about noise," the leader said, voice low, almost instructional. "But it's not." He pointed his chin toward the infected. "They follow trail, follow sweat, follow adrenaline." He looked straight at me. "And you too are drenched, way too much." The woman took half a step back, her body sliding into fight or flight mode. My hands tingled. Not because of the infected, because of them. "What do you want?" I asked. His smile came back. There was no humor in it. "You watch. She shoots well, even shaking. You know how to boil water, how to get out of a surrounded building, how to build a sound trap." He tilted his head, like he was evaluating a product on a shelf. "I want you on our side." "And what is your side?" the woman asked. "Hunting, not being hunted." "And who gets hunted?" "Who reeks of fear and turns on lights," he said, simple, like he was talking about the weather. The infected, deep, weary. Intensity, medium, controlled, 92 BPM. The infected took another step. Close enough now for me to see details: cracked nails, torn skin on the neck, a scrap of cloth stuck to its cheek. Its cloudy eyes still seemed to be searching for something behind us. And for the first time, I heard a sound come out of its throat. Not a scream. A low, wet click, like a choked hiccup. The man with the whistle widened his eyes. "That one's heard too much already," he muttered. "It's responding to other calls." "What calls?" I asked. He didn't answer. Neither did the leader.
Timber, deep, weary. Far away, in the opposite direction of the alley, a new sound appeared. Far away, in the opposite direction of the alley, a new sound appeared. Not a whistle, not metal, not gunfire. A tongue click. Dry. Alone. Then two. Then three. Like a code only the dead understand. The infected, which had been tasting the air, froze. Still facing us, but its whole body tensed like it had been shocked. Its head turned slowly, millimeter by millimeter, toward the sound.
92 BPM. Its response was immediate. It turned its back on us and started walking. Not running, not stumbling. Walking like something that recognizes a call. Rule 19. If someone can make your enemy ignore you, that someone is more dangerous than the enemy. The leader went pale for half a second before his face snapped back into place. "That's not our code," he murmured. "So there's another group," I said. "Or something else." The man with the whistle shifted nervously, spinning the metal cylinder like it had suddenly become too light. The woman beside me gripped my arm. "I don't want to know what it is," she whispered. "I just want to get out of here." Two more infected appeared at the mouth of the alley, drawn by the clicks. They passed by the entrance, ignoring everything, everyone, following that invisible direction where the sound was born, like a dutiful procession. The leader looked at me. "We need to get out of here," he said. "Finally, something we agree on," I replied. Timber, deep, weary. He stepped forward. "You're coming with us." It wasn't an invitation. It was a verdict. The woman raised her gun half a centimeter. The hooded guy tightened his grip on his. The smell of tension froze the air. A gust of wind swept down the alley, kicking up dust and dragging in a new odor: burnt rubber and meat. Someone had lit a big fire somewhere in the neighborhood. The leader frowned. "If you go alone, you become easy prey." "And with you?" I asked. "You become resource." The word hit deep like a clean punch. Resource, not ally, not partner. Resource. The woman took a deep breath, and I smelled her fear mixing with mine. Acid, salty, almost metallic. The leader seemed to smell it too. "Look around," he said. "It's not about right or wrong anymore. It's about who commands and who obeys. The dead obey smell, sound, habit. The living obey fear." He smiled again. "The question is simple. Who do you prefer to obey?" For a second, I wanted to laugh. I didn't. "No one learned anything," I said. "They just changed the leashes." Timber,
deep weary. Observation number 16. When the world ends, monsters don't just appear out of nowhere. The masks of the old ones finally fall off. The tongue click echoed again, louder, closer. Now I could make out the rhythm, almost like a sentence. 3 clicks, pause, 2 clicks. Repeated. The infected, crossing at the far end of the alley, adjusted their paths with tiny curves, like iron being pulled by an invisible magnet. One of them, though, stopped in the middle, raised its head, looking up, at the windows, at us.
Decide. Deep weary. Intensity, medium. Rhythm, fast, controlled. Decide. I'm not cattle, I said. Not for the dead, not for the living. The words came out steadier than I expected. Maybe because, deep down, the fear had already boiled over into something else. He stared at me for a long moment. The whistle spun again in the other man's hand. The woman tightened her finger on the trigger. Here's how it is, the leader said at last. This neighborhood won't stay clear forever. He stepped back, opening a path. Today, you walk out on your own. Tomorrow, if you cross us, either you come with, his eyes darkened, or you become a mark on the wall.
Timbre, deep, weary. Intensity, medium. Rhythm, fast, controlled. He turned his back. The rest of the group followed. The man with the whistle was the last to look at us. For a moment, I thought he'd blow it. He didn't. They vanished toward the opposite side of the alley, away from the clicks. In spite of everything, that told me something. They were afraid of that sound too. We were alone. Or thought we were. The alley went back to breathing with the city. Distant clicks, a few moans far off, the wind pushing old plastic bags.
The woman leaned away from me, legs shaky. Her gun lowered a few centimeters, just enough to show the exhaustion. They were scared, she said, like she needed to hear it out loud. They were, I confirmed, and lying to themselves. She wiped her face, drying sweat, and something that could have been a tear, but didn't have time to become one. You think there's another group? I'm sure, I said. No one invents a code alone, or learns to control creatures like that without training first. And that sound? It's not theirs. I paused, which, for some reason, scares me even more.
Timbre, deep weary. We kept moving, this time glued to the walls, like each brick was a piece of armor. At every corner, the smell changed. At some, sulfur. Others, old rot. At one, something unmistakable, cheap perfume mixed with fresh sweat. People. Alive. Passing through there just a few hours ago. At the intersection near the old drugstore, the ground was marked by a trail of dark drops. Not fresh blood, already starting to dry. I followed it with my eyes. It led to the iron gate of a parking lot. The woman grabbed my arm. Don't even think about it. I'm not seeing food, I said. I'm seeing story. But right then, the tongue clicks came again, from the opposite side of the gate. And like answering a siren, an infected appeared on the upper street, turning its head, sniffing. It didn't see us, but the blood trail lay right between it and the parking lot. It didn't run, didn't dodge, just followed the trail. That's how I understood. It wasn't just smell in the air. It was smell on the ground, on the walls, on everything. Chemical memory spread everywhere. We weren't walking streets anymore. We were walking the pages of an invisible diary that recorded who had passed there, how scared, how fast. And now they knew how to read.
92 BPM. Rule number 20. If the world has become a book of sense, every step you take is a sentence. Write short. We took a longer route back, avoiding anywhere the wind carried the smell of recent people. When we finally reached a half-burned office building, we climbed the stairs, taking the calculated risk of the noise. From up there, we could see 3 streets at once. The city looked like a board where someone had started pushing the pieces.
Timbre, deep weary. Small groups of infected walked in strange lines, sometimes crossing, sometimes turning back. At certain corners they stopped, sniffed, turned around. It was like watching ants feel out old trails, trying to rebuild paths. The woman sat on the floor, back to the wall. Her hands were still shaking. "How long until this becomes a full pen?" she asked. I thought before answering. "Depends. On what?" "On how long it takes them to stop fearing us and start fearing only each other." She stared at me, confused. "You mean them or the living?" "Both."
At night, the smell got worse. The mix of bodies, past rains, smoke from a distant fire, and leftover gasoline turned the air heavy, almost chewable. We lit a candle for a few minutes just to organize the backpack, sealed the cracks as best we could, boiled the little water we'd managed to keep clean. While it bubbled, I wrote in the notebook, Day 7. Sound is no longer the only traitor. The whole body snitches, sweat, breathing, footsteps, fear soaked into walls. The dead track, the living control, and now there's another code calling all of them. This isn't just survival, it's a fight for control. I closed the notebook.
Lying on her side in the corner, the woman spoke without looking at me. "Do you think there's still any place left that doesn't know the smell of fear?" I stared at the dark ceiling, feeling my own chest rise and fall. I didn't answer. Outside, far away, the tongue clicks repeated. Then a short whistle and a scream. I couldn't tell if it was human or not. All I know is that, for a moment, everything blended together. And I realized that, in the end, fear smells the same in any throat. I took a deep breath, trying to tame my own body. Staying quiet is no longer just about not making noise. It's about teaching your whole body not to confess what it feels.